guys, it's Vortex Guy. Today we're going to be talking about diffs. I'm putting a diff locker from Highlifter in, which is ordered off Amazon for, I think it was $50 including shipping. This is a 2011 Honda Rincon 680. When I do this, the diff will be locked in all the time. I'll still have two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, but the two front tires will be locked in, so it'll be harder to handle on turns. It'll be definitely harder to turn when four-wheel drive is engaged. I have no power steering on this unit, so what I will gain is traction on all four wheels. They'll always be spinning no matter what, as long as it's in four-wheel drive. I'll show you, for example, this is I got the diff lock already installed, but you get pressure on one side and the other side's freewheel, get started to turn. See how when I turn this, it wants to jump that pail? So when you get in those nasty spots, it helps out big time. Alright guys, we got our hubs off, we got our brake calipers off, zip tied them up here onto the shock, loosen off the bolt there, let the line move a little bit more freely. We'll be taking probably the top A-arm off as well. We gotta pull the hub assembly all off and everything to get the axles pulled out. We're gonna do that on both sides, but we're just gonna take on the left hand side the driver A-arm out, and step by step we'll show you how we get there. So next step is we'll pull this shock off the A-arm and give this a couple smacks, drop the ball joints out here, and we'll pull that axle out. Alright guys, removing the axle is pretty simple. Just give it a quick yank. That little reese right there, snap ring, that's what holds it in. Alright guys, so we got the axles removed. We left our hubs there on the bottom, pop this one off. Just gave it a good smack here and they pop right off. We pulled our axles out, and on the other side, like I said, the driver's side is where we're going to pull the diff out. So I'm going to remove this bolt next here, take this out, and my whole hub, leave the bottom A-frame or A-arm in. Hopefully we don't have to take that out. And then I guess we'll remove some plastics next after that. So we got our top A-arm off here, the whole hub assembly. Kind of got a nice open spot for it to come out now. So the next thing is, oh, we also remove the plastics here to get in here. Same on the other side. So the next step is we're going to start all the wiring and all the little brackets on this thing. We're going to have to disconnect everything, the breather line as well. I'll show you on the other side. Yeah, so you got the breather line right there, electrical connection right there, and you have two right here as well. One's going in to the side of the diff, but don't worry, the connection's right beside it. So we're going to be very careful to take those off there. Get all the wiring and all the hose away, and we're ready to unbolt and remove. Alright guys, we got the diff out now.
One smooth.
So
they are all installed.
So electrical right here. You took off the diff. I zip tied it to the frame, get out of the way to get the diff out. And as you can see, there's a little bracket here, right here. We remove so we can slide the diff forward. See those two holes there? That's for a little bracket for the front diff. Remove that, and then you can slide forward. There's another bracket there, and the other bracket is right up there. You remove those, and then you just pull it right out of the engine. It'll just pop right out. You just pull it forward, tilt it sideways, and slide it out. Right now we're just draining the oil, and then once that's all done, we'll split her open. Record. Alright guys, just pulled the nuts off. These two here are going to be 14 mil, and the rest are going to be 12 mil there. They're all the same length, so you can't really fuck it up. I need a pry brush.
Look, yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see. It's nice and fucking clean in there.
6, fucking 8 and 10.
Yeah, so the diagram we have says 6, but there's what, 10 bolts on here. You pull these off, and behind here is where those cam followers are, where we got to reorganize. So we're going to carefully pull this off. So that's why. So hey guys, so these are all Loctite. That's why it's such a pain in the ass to take these off. So I guess you're going to have to use an impact gun if you have to. Okay, you're going to help me here. Okay, see that, guys? We had to flip it over like that. Bolts are removed. You will find a spring washer. So I think that's the back side of that one. And then we have a concave washer, which should be that one. Right? And then our next one is our side gear, which is that guy, right? Like that. And then our cam follower, which is this. And then of course there's another one on the back side. So here comes the tricky part. Now we're going to pull them all out and put them in a certain order. 6 will have smooth faces. Huh? 6 will have grooves. We got on the face of them, like this says on the thing, on the instruction, says 2 grooves and 2 smooths. So instructions they want you. I don't know if you can see here. I'll show you here quickly. You see the faces. These 2 are groove and these 2 are smooth. So what they want us to do is take smooth to groove to smooth to groove instead of smooth groove groove. So we're going to do that very carefully. We're going to mark a 0 on our spot, and we're not going to touch that one. That way, in case we fuck up, we can put everything back to original order, start over again. Or put it back to stock if we have to, right? So we'll make this guy our 0 here. This guy is not going to move. See here, we have, you see the face, smooth groove, smooth groove, smooth groove. That's what it says in the instructions to do. As you can see, that's what we've done. We swapped them all around. So that's pretty much it. Now we can slam everything back together. So we threw a spool locker in here, right? So that's what it says to do. The gear does sit a little bit lower, we noticed, after we switched everything to smooth groove, smooth groove. So it does sit a little bit lower, and I think that's what the spool locker's for, is to shim it up. Lay it back down. So hey guys, so we got everything assembled here, as you can see. Right. We turn it vertical, so nothing would slide apart. Slid it in there very carefully. Everything stayed together, so that was good. So what we're doing next is we're going to be putting the bolts back in. Now, if you can see there, you have Loctite on there. So what I'm using is the tap, just tapping them, clean the threads out, and they come out really good actually. So make sure you clean the Loctite off before you install the bolts. Alright guys, we got her nicely snugged up there. We're going to start torquing it to 36 foot-pounds of torque. We got an old Foreman cab bearing axle I've changed out a couple of years ago. We're going to use to hold this thing while I torque it. Okay. That one's got a marker on it. So one beside it. Yeah. Okay, I think there's just one more after this. Oh. Okay.
Do it. I don't know that there's one. Oh, this one here.
Yep, that guy. That should be the last one next.
Okay.
Okay, we got this all cleaned up now. Still torqued. We're gonna put the cover back on, and what we're gonna do is, got it nice and clean, but we're gonna put a little bit of caulking right here on the tab here, just to give it that little extra seal. The O-ring's held up really good over the years, so just a little bit of caulking to play it safe. Alright guys, so we got obviously the diff back together. We got all the electrical, the venting tube back on, it all bolted in. So what's left is we're going to start putting our plastics back on, is our next step, and our axles and so forth, A-arms and all that other fun stuff. So make sure you, when you're putting everything back, you grease it. I'm going to put some grease on the axle shaft to seal that up too, keep the water out. Good thing to keep in mind. As we just finished putting oil in the diff, we got everything back together, and we're going to throw the tires on and see if there's lemon slip.